You know, it's funny. We were watching, like, me and Connor. We watch all that. I don't know. You don't watch all the shows each week, Eric. Do you, by any chance? You don't.
No.
Okay. Well, we watch each week, and because we review, because our fans like to review the shows, right? And like, it's funny because, like, one of the criticisms we have are from, like, production standpoints, like a lot of the segments, there's very awkward outs. Like, like the ending of one segment, it's like overlap. There's like guys are talking and they just cut him off and stuff. And then I'm watching, and I'm like watching, like, how does this happen? And I found out recently, bro, they don't have production meetings. And
Tony,
I was fascinated when I heard that. I'm like, how does that happen?
Oh yeah, you and I tweeted about that because
I messaged you. Because you were.
Yeah, you DM me because of the
when they did the countdown 5, 4, take 22, and like you were like, you tweeted, well, how does this happen? And I messaged you. I said they don't have production meetings, and I'm like, that's how.
You know what else is really weird? And I was sitting in Philadelphia at a DoubleTree Inn while that was happening. And I'm going, oh, this is weird. And I said, like, immediately, as soon as I said, how did this happen? And then the more I thought about it, the more confused I got, because the only time you do a slate is when you're doing interviews that are going to go into post-production. So you can keep track of those cuts, right? It's for editing purposes.
Right.
Why are you doing it on a live show?
There was some speculation, DI, that it might be some kind of story, but nobody knows yet, So I don't know.
What's the story? That production's an idiot?
I don't know. If somebody is maybe I don't know. Yeah.
That the producer's
I think
an
that's
idiot?
some half glass full right there.
Right. Oh my God.
He ain't afraid to ride the fence.
When you were not at all. When you appeared for AEW, Eric, I think it was 2 or 3 times, something like that.
Twice, I think.
Was it twice? So there's no production meetings, but who spoke to you and approached you and kind of delivered to you like, hey, this is what we're looking for or whatever?
Cody and Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho the first time, Cody the second time, or vice versa. I can't remember.
Okay.
You know what, Eric, was funny? When I sat in, when I went into booking, I sat in the production meeting for the first time. I got I was watching you, right? And I just kind of had, again, this was in 99, I guess, right? Or I got the feeling from your body language, the way that you were just like very frustrated with the production. Like, a lot of things were like, there was a period of time there where it's just like you were, like you'd be like, oh, like you'd grown and you say something, everything. Were there how was your relationship with production? Did you go through stages there where they weren't delivering what you wanted and you would did you ever have any conflict with them, or
No, for the most part, my relationship with David Crockett was very good. Some of the vendors we used, like Jeff Bornstein for lighting, I had a lot of respect for and always got performance out of. Keith Mitchell, when it was necessary for me to interface with Keith, I always got along great with Keith and had a ton of respect. Craig Leathers, the director. Was there frustration? Of course. It's live television. There's always going to be frustration. And I'm sure there were a lot of times in production meetings when I was basically just there because I was supposed to be, because I had that much confidence in the team to do what needed to be done at that point. It didn't need me or my influence. But there were times, especially in 99, as things started getting really bad, where there was a lot of frustration. And a lot of that had to do with communication breakdowns and things like that. But it was never directed at any one person. Generally, I got along with production really well. I admired them.
I do remember one time you were really frustrated. And I don't know what year this was, Eric. And you told me, he goes, I'm going to go with my daughter. I don't know if it was your daughter or your whole family. And I'm going to go to France, and I'm going to take off for a while, and I'm going to put Nash in charge or something. Do you remember that?
Yeah. And I did. I took my daughter to Paris for 10 days.
Yeah.
I think it was end of 98, beginning of 99-ish.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
No, but, guys, a lot of that, I was frustrated with having to produce 2 primetime shows. Thunder was something I can't say there was a gun to my head, but there kind of was. I had to pay for it myself because nobody else wanted to. But Ted Turner wanted the show. So guess what that meant? That meant it got produced out of WCW's budget with no license fees. And it was a lot of additional work. And that the stress that put on the production team manifested in a lot of mistakes, lack of communication. It was just because the workload doubled. And I oftentimes was frustrated at that, particularly when Turner Broadcasting was cutting my budget in the middle of the year, even though I was over delivering on projections. That kind of, had me in a bad mood a lot of the time in 1999. It wasn't because of production.